just remove this right here. All right. We are live, or at least we should be. I've got my phone over here, and this is where I'm going to reach or keep up with chat at. Let me see. Let me just try and make this like full screen. Perfect. All right. So I can have the webcam up full screen. Epic. My phone and YouTube just like not really wanting to get along, which is fine. Yes, here I am. And there you are. Hi, TFL and everybody else. Shane, how's it going? Crazy Chicken, I'm pretty sure Cult BSD TV got OpenBS or OBS Studio to work on OpenBSD. Yes, it technically can work on OpenBSD, but it's not in the ports tree, and it's a lot of work. I just spent about 4 to 5 hours getting FFMPEG, like figuring out exactly how to get the best quality. Yes, so this is FFmpeg streaming to YouTube with webcam and mic, all of this. Oh, the audio is out of sync. Hold on. Let me turn up my phone, mute. Yes, the audio is out of sync. Okay. Darn. Well, that is probably because we will jump in and I'll show you the script that I'm using, not with the actual stream key in it, obviously. If we go over here, I have this little dummy script, which I've just called bootlegged OBS. But this is a copy of the actual script that I'm running just with the stream key removed. And I'll dive into this and talk about what I had to change to get all of this working correctly, and I'll also talk about the thing that needs to be added so that the audio will not be out of sync with the video. Yeah, the audio is definitely out of sync, and so the reason for that is so when we go in the script, you'll see async down here. This is to get the audio synced up with the video. What I removed that I shouldn't have is vsync 1 here as well. If I was to rerun if I was to kill the stream and then restart it with this, the video would be in sync with the audio, and everything would work fine. But so it took me quite a bit of time. I mean, you can see the amount of flags that are going on for this FFmpeg live stream, but it took a lot of trial and error to get the stream to come out with the quality that I wanted. Just there was a lot of errors to fix, a lot of things that could go wrong that did go wrong. But when it comes to the FFmpeg, or I guess I should start off with a webcam. When it comes to the webcam, I'm just running FFplay and loading up the webcam in a window, and then because it's floating and I'm using TWM, it doesn't really matter. It will just stay over Windows anyway. And I can, bring, which I probably should do, bring my webcam over here with me, even though the audio is going to be completely out of sync with the video anyway. And so I'm going to go ahead and sit down here so I can answer some of your questions. For one, when we start off the stream, we're just doing an X11 grab, and we're giving it the probe size. That fixes one error that it spit out. And then for both of the thread queue sizes, I'm using 128. It still spits out errors there, but I found that even taking it up to 512, it still spits out errors. So I just keep it at 120. And I mean, by errors, I don't mean errors, just warnings. It spits out warnings. But it's fine. It really doesn't mean anything, but you do want to do that to an extent. You do want to turn up the thread queue size. 1920 by 1080, we're giving it the FPS, and then for -I, I'm giving it the display. And then we're also recording using SNDIO, and we're grabbing the default device, which is my USB device. I've ran the command so that when I plug up a USB audio device, it becomes the default device. And then when I unplug the USB device, the laptop's internal device becomes the default device. And then for the media codec, using libx264 pixel format. I mean, you guys can see this. I don't need to read it all out. The reason I am doubling the FPS is because what's going to happen is if I don't do this flag and essentially double the FPS, what happens is when the stream starts, it starts off at slightly above 30 FPS and then dips down and to where it's like not sending almost any video whatsoever. If I run it with this flag here, it starts off at like 60 FPS, drops down to 30 FPS fairly quickly. We're talking like within like 5 to 10 seconds, drops down to 30 FPS and then stays there and streams, no problem. That would be why. I don't know necessarily why that's required or why that's happening, but that's what's happening. And then giving it for the preset quality, just using very fast, and we are using 4500 for our kilobit or for our bit rate. And yeah, the last thing is pushing out as an FLV, and then to YouTube with a stream key. That's pretty much it. I mean, nothing super complex or anything going on here. It just took a lot of trial and error to get this right. Because, tried multiple different video codecs, audio codecs, had to fine tune the audio codec settings, had to find async and then vsync. I don't know why I removed vsync. I thought it would fix something. I think I kept turning up the thread queue size, and that's when I got rid of vsync. So it's like I thought vsync would, I don't know, get rid of that warning, but it didn't. And besides, I'm streaming right now, and the warning's still there. If I go back over here, never mind. No, it's not there. Of course it's not. Never mind, man. Just don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about, okay? Good Lord, yeah. That is blindingly white. But if we quit out of here, okay. I don't care to save it. It's all right. If we vim into my .local /bin/ record on OpenBSD. If we go in here, this one is, you'll actually see it's different. So for recording, if I'm just going to be recording a video here on the computer, using FFMPEG. Awesome. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Great blinding, man. It's terrible. Gotta use that dark mode. I just gotta go ahead and install that extension. But for this one, I've just got video name and audio name. The only difference here, they're taking the month, date, and minute and then the year. Only difference is audio name has .wav at the end of it. And so we're running a make directory command, and so we're making a directory with the name of the date and minute that it was made. And then we're going to be loading up the webcam because I want the webcam open, and then grabbing the screen, and you can see the thread queue size is much lower here for both the sound and video, because again I tried around messing with it a lot. We're using libx264 RGB using CRF 0, and so that gets rid of a lot of errors because you're not trying to like encode the video like as you're going, which makes you have a lot larger of a file size, but you're going to take it into Kdenlive, edit it down and everything. So it's really, for me, I don't think it's that big. You could slightly bump it up to get rid of that file size, but it's not like it's not like you're having like a 4K file size. It's not too big. And the preset of ultra fast, and then using a completely different audio codec, and this one seems great. Don't have any audio sync issues or anything like that. Using this, and then inside of that videos directory, putting the video name .mkv. Within the year, no. I won't be going back to Linux. I'm like, look, I don't, just because I've left Linux doesn't mean like there was a reason that I left it, or like I hate Linux because of some shit. But stop it. No, sir. Oh, get away. No. He's trying to chew on cords and shit. We'll get him complaining about snaps again in no time. No, because I don't have any problems with Linux. It's not like something drove me away from it, but this is just amazing. It really is. It really is. Okay, so like, if we want to play Xenotic, let's just go ahead and play Xenotic here live on OpenBSD. We could just play a little bit of, wait, why are you not pinging anyone? Oh, there we go. There was like much more servers earlier. I'm going to assume that some of the servers are doing a restart, and I came in at the perfect time. Okay. So, I mean, you sort of get the point. It works pretty dang good. Hopefully not. Wait, hold on. when it comes to the audio, do you mean like you couldn't hear the game or me? All right. So now I have, after that Xonotic gameplay, I have rerun the script with VSync enabled. So the voice should be in sync with the camera. Should be. You know, one can hope. One can at least hope. Hold on, I'm gonna mute myself and check and see over on the phone whether or not my microphone is actually like in sync with my mouth. Okay, just checked. It's not in sync with my mouth whatsoever. God dang it. Why? Why you do this? Why? I mean, it could have something to do with just the way FFMPEG is streamed. I have no idea at this point. I have sincerely tried everything to get this working perfectly, and it still doesn't work perfectly. In my personal opinion, it could work perfectly. It just doesn't. Dude, we'll pop in general talk. Let's see if anyone just drops into general talk. Might get me chatting about something interesting. Or, if you got questions, ask them in general. Ask them in general talk. Why not? Why not? Okay. Well, yeah. So essentially, this is OpenBSD and my experience with it. It's pretty nice. It's pretty good. Liking it. Yeah. I really don't know what more to say. What do you recommend a Linux user should know before trying OpenBSD? First off, OpenBSD is built for the developers, not for the community. So if there's something that you want, added or ported over to OpenBSD, the OpenBSD devs will give you the tools to do so, but they're not going to hold your hand and walk you through doing it. Also, don't be that idiot who goes over there and is like, well, I can't install Steam, so your operating system sucks. It's not Linux. It's not meant. It's not trying to cater to everyone and trying to be more than it. It's just a secure operating system. And two, it's similar. A lot of stuff will be similar. Like, okay, so if I want to check my fonts, I type out fclist, pipe that into grep, and grep for, let's grep for emoji. And bada bing, bada boom. I've got my, fonts. A lot of stuff is the same. And if you're looking here, I'm using bash. So again, most of my dot files are pretty much the exact same. But with that being said, it's not the same as Linux. The way the system operates is completely different. First things first, when it comes to using OpenBSD, you're going to want to make sure that you're added into the staff not necessarily group, like login group thing. You'll see it on the FAQ and stuff, walking through installation and all of that. Again, really, if you're new to OpenBSD, go to their website, read their FAQ, and then if you have any questions further than the FAQ, go to the man pages about the things that you have questions about on the FAQ. Everything that you can possibly want to know is there. But you want to add yourself to the staffs group. That way you can edit these sections here and allow yourself to take up much more of the system resources that are available to you. And then also the way the system works. So essentially you're going to be like, you're not always going to be interacting with the kernel, but you're going to definitely interact with the kernel on some level. You're going to want to like extend some shared memory limits. You're going to want to bump up this stuff, and then out of the gate, so that you can record from audio devices and video devices, you have to enable these two kernel settings here, so that you can actually record from those devices. I love Vim. Vim's so good. Yeah. This is like, it's really good. I really like OpenBSD. It's so fantastic, man. But English Bob, welcome to the stream, man. Hope you're doing good. Do you know much of the differences between FreeBSD and OpenBSD? Yes. FreeBSD is, look, if you have an NVIDIA card, it will work on your hardware, but it's kind of shit. I'll just be frank about it. Like, yeah, FreeBSD does have better support for stuff, but it doesn't have a fucking direction. FreeBSD is like the Linux of BSDs. Like Linux wants, look, and I'm not bashing on Linux because I like Linux and everything. I'm just being frank. Linux wants to cater to everyone, okay? If you're a gamer, Linux wants to work for you. If you're a grandma who wants to use Zoom, Linux wants to work for you. Linux wants to appeal to everyone. FreeBSD is essentially the same thing. It's a BSD that's built for servers, but that also wants to appease everyone, because you can fucking get Steam working on FreeBSD. With that being said, it doesn't have direction. It's not nearly as good as OpenBSD in my eyes. It's just nearly not. OpenBSD has a direction. They focus on security. That's what they focus on. They focus on security and really concise and proper documentation. Superb documentation. Go read the OpenBSD documentation, dive into it, explore it, and then dive into the FreeBSD documentation and tell me they don't, like, the FreeBSD documentation doesn't suck fucking dick compared to OpenBSD documentation. Oh, Jeff. How are you doing, brother? And I mean, here's another thing we could do. Could just load up Super Tux Kart. Like, we can just start playing Super Tux Kart. I mean, like, the only sad thing about the Super Tux Kart build for OpenBSD is it's super out of date. So there's like no multiplayer for it, which is annoying, but it is what it is. You can still play Super Tux Kart. audio glitching out again. Of course it is. Yeah, and according to my like live stream, it also looked like the game was glitching out a bit too. It's weird because like when I record, like on the computer, playing games like Xenotic and Super Tuxcar, the audio's fine and the recording's fine. I don't know why it doesn't work fine when I'm live streaming. It's probably because I've got the like thread counts like turned up so high, or queue counts, or whatever it's called, for the scripts. Yeah, if you don't game at all, then OpenBSD is definitely for you. Like, and I mean, the thing too is like the way the system works, it's so beautiful. Like it's so damn beautiful. Let's go over here. I'll just load up the OpenBSD website and we'll go into their FAQ. Yes, I know this is very, very white. I'm sorry for blinding your eyes. By the way, soft updates. This is something that a lot of people don't do. You want to go through and add under in your FS tab. So /etc/FS tab. For everything that's not your swap, you want to add soft dep and no A time. You can see I've done that for everything. Do that. That's going to greatly improve your drive performance and drive health. Definitely do that. But let's see where, let's go down to the multimedia section and just configuring our audio hardware, like just the way that the system works. So you have SNDIO. Okay. So, which is your audio and device descriptors. And which is essentially going to set your like devices up so that when you run a program, let's see, bootlegged OBS, you can access it using, see, like right here, we're using SNDIO and we're using the sound device 0, which is going to be the default device. So the way that OpenBSD works is your default audio device is going to be hooked up to /dev/audio 0, and then any USB devices or anything else that you plug in will come in after that. And you can just switch between them by using SND/1, 2, whatever the device is. And then you have, so you have SNDIOD, which is the daemon, or, well, I mean, it's the server, still daemon. Well, yes, the daemon, but anyway, it's the audio server, whatever. And then to interact with it, you have SNDIOCTL, and that will let you like get all of like the different stuff that's using your audio server. You can get your output level, and like with some very minimal changes to my scripts, like my volume down script, all of these have a for Linux section and a for OpenBSD section. And so I just use SNDIOCTL, get the output level, and either for down and up, minus it by 1 or plus it by 0.1, because 0 to 1 is 0 to 100%. And then just send a notification. So I have these nice little scripts here where I can change my audio level, however I want. It's perfect, man. Like, just works. Everything's simple. The way the system just works, it's beautiful. If you want, like, I always recommend people go and read this. I also have other videos on my channel about OpenBSD, but I recommend people go and read this here because this has got a lot of stuff that can help you out just with different things, like ensuring that you update the system, which you should always do, but you set up APM, like it'll show you how to get your battery status using APM. If you didn't already know that, that's, nice little nifty tool. That's on OpenBSD. And then you can also set up, where is it? Somewhere in here he goes over setting up like battery performance, or not battery performance, setting up the APM daemon. Good Lord. I just try to use vim commands to go to the top in here. Lol. Let's see, network setup. I know it's somewhere in here. Initial configuration. Here we go. So since this is a laptop, power management. There we go. So it does walk you through setting up power management, everything that you're going to want on here. Joshua Lee, how's it going, brother? And by the way, for everyone, I know the audio is a little out of sync. Just before you comment, I do know that. Sorry. Nothing I can do about it for the moment. I thought VSync would work, but apparently that flag did not fix it in FFmpeg. Oh, well, glad you would catch me before you go to bed, English Bob. Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored. Syspatch. Yeah. Syspatch. And then if for some reason you didn't pull in your firmware after your first boot, after install, you can do FW update, and that will pull in any firmware that you need that it didn't automatically pull in, which it should have. Because after you install it on first boot, as long as you still have the Ethernet plugged up, it'll pull in your Wi-Fi driver or Wi-Fi firmware, all that stuff. Of course, we do need the obligatory Gentoo statement, of course. On CentOS using a Fedora kernel. I'm happy over here on OpenBSD, brother. I don't think I'm coming back to Linux. Don't think so. I don't know. I've been told to try out Slackware, but I've never been just really interested in it. Just haven't. Oh, TFL, running terminal commands in chat. Just wow. Just trying to ls the chat. Does OpenBSD have 0AD? Yes, it does. It has it in the ports tree, but it doesn't seem to work from the ports tree. It will work if you compile it from source yourself on OpenBSD. I haven't done that yet because I was supposed to do that with Dylan, but he got very drunk the other day, or last night, I should say, and couldn't do it, passed out. And then today, from the last I heard on Discord, he is out at a club right now. So most likely, I'm not going to compile 0AD again today unless I decide to do it myself. And from their shitty instructions on their website, I don't know that I'll be able to do that. So I'm probably just going to wait again on Dylan. I have no idea about how 0AD is set up. Well, I mean, you really don't want a real Unix experience. Like, I mean, everything's based off of Unix. Unix is old, you know? Don't. Exactly. Yeah. And if you want a computer that, like, again, OpenBSD, as long as you have hardware where it will work, the way the system makes sense. There's shit that just doesn't work because it's not ported over, or dependencies that it uses are not ported over. But if it works as expected. Like, that's just it. And that's why I love OpenBSD. Like, if it works as expected. GIMP works fine. Kdenlive works fine. I mean, everything over here just works. It works nice. So a sys patch will update the entire system, like all of the sets and all of that. So hold on. If we go ahead and do what you should be doing on OpenBSD, you can just run a man command and get the syspatch. So manage base system binary packages. Syspatch is a utility to fetch, verify, install, and revert OpenBSD binary patches. When run without any options, syspatch will apply all missing patches, creating a rollback tarball containing all the files it is about to replace, then extracting and installing all files contained in the syspatch tarball. If any sets are missing, patches are skipped accordingly. Patches are cumulative, and as such, it is not possible to install only a subset of them. There you go. That is exactly what syspatch does. Yeah, a lot of people are more interested in it, but I'm not. I'm not scared of it becoming a popular mess, because a lot of people are going to really hate the OpenBSD mindset of, look, we'll give you the tools to make stuff work, but we're not going to spend our time developing and getting, you know, OBS to work on here because a whole bunch of people want OBS to work on here. If it's not what the developers need for their job or their day, it's not getting added. It's made for the developers. That's literally who it's made for. If you want shit changed or added in OpenBSD, you have to become a developer. That's how it works. You have to maintain packages, help out the team, literally develop OpenBSD, and then you have the right to be like, okay, I want this in here. All right, this needs to be here. Ben, how's it going? Also, your personal data dealer. There's nothing like a good data dealer. How's it going? So it's not for the kernel specifically. So it's like for updating the base system for OpenBSD. Yes. The base system and all the sets for it. Where pkg_addu is for updating everything else. As far as I know, yes. Let me check. I'm just going to run the command -u. Yes, as far as I know, -u is the command for updating all of the packages that you've installed, as far as I know. Yeah. And then we can also go over some of the things that people will be confused about, like big differences in the way that OpenBSD works and Linux works. For one, let's go ahead and talk about this. You're not, and I mean not, going to have your ext4 partitions just show up. Yeah, OpenBSD doesn't work with that. It does not do ext4 and stuff. You're only going to be able to see exFAT drives. So there's a big difference. You're not going to be doing LSBLK. You're not. That's not how this is going to work. If you want to see your partitions and all that good stuff, you can do DF. But, you know, this is not very readable here for your main partition. So if you do -H, that's going to be the human readable flag. And so that makes it much more readable. Just much more readable. And so here you go. You can see my system. I've got a whole bunch of shit installed. And, you know, my root partition of 1 gigabyte is still doing totally fine. My home partition is only at 5% filled up. So we're doing fine. Oh, English Bob, have a good one. I've never tried Crux Linux, so I have no idea. Hey, how's it going, man? How's it going? Easy. I'm going to butcher your username because I do that all the time, but I'm just going to say auditor, okay? I'm just going to say the last part, all right? I'm going to butcher everything else. Thanks for clarifying. No problem, man. Yeah, I tried OpenBSD. I couldn't get my audio working on it, so that was a turnoff for me. The funny thing is I guarantee you your audio was working. I guarantee you your audio was working. So if you ran SNDIOCTL, most likely your output mute was on 1, which typically on here it doesn't mute out of the gate. But it could have been, and then also your level might have been not high, or your internal audit, like your motherboard has 2 audio devices, or you've got 2 like internal audio devices, and you just needed to get audio out. You just needed to use like AUCAT or whatever with the -F flag, and give it SND/1, and then it would have worked. Yeah, no problem, man. Hopefully that helps you out. That should fix your problem, because the way it works is you have SNDIO, which is your device descriptors and everything. Then you have SDIOD, which is like the daemon and sound server. And then you have SNDIOCT to control the actual sound server. And it's a super simple, elegant system. It fucking works beautifully. I love it. I can't say enough great things about it. Wait, hold on. So I need to go back up here. Does OBS work on OpenBSD? Yes and no. You can get OBS to work on OpenBSD. It is not in the ports tree, so you can't just do you know, do as pkg underscore add. By the way, you can get sudo on OpenBSD. Let me make myself completely clear. If you install sudo on OpenBSD, like, look, we can be friends and everything, but you're a literal piece of shit. Don't install sudo on OpenBSD. Do as is where, like, OpenBSD is where do as originated, and do as is to fix all of the fucking bloat and shit that is sudo and its configuration file. Because if you're just an average Joe Schmo, sudo is way too much for you. Do as is way better. Like, let me just show you my do as config. That's it. And I even added this keep environment option here is bloat. You don't even need that. It can be 3 words: permit, persist, and then your username. It's super simple to set up do as. Just use do as. But I couldn't do a pkg underscore add OBS. That's not going to work. I'll even run it and show you. It's not going to work. Wait. Oh, it's... never mind. It's not going to run right now because I'm still doing the update. Apparently I've installed a lot. Well, I have installed a lot of shit on here, so that's why the update's taken so long. But whatever. Yeah, I'll also go ahead and do a neo fetch. So while I'm streaming here, everything. Hello, neo fetch. I think neo fetch has had a seizure. I know why it's having an issue. It's because it froze up right where I was trying to pull in the package count and everything. I guess the update command is really screwing up with everything else. But yeah, no ext4, and you're not going to get support for it. The way that I recommend doing stuff on OpenBSD is if you're going to be transferring files back and forth using something like SSH to copy over files or manage them some way like that, or just using Nextcloud. Just get yourself a Nextcloud instance, back up your shit to Nextcloud, and then just transfer it over from Nextcloud to your OpenBSD install. That's what I recommend doing. And then we all pretty much all use exFAT for our drives anyway. So any USB drive that's exFAT will just work like anything else on OpenBSD. I'm still trying to get i3 Next to work. I'm telling you, man, it may just be i3. Like, i3 may just be broken on OpenBSD. Who knows? I've never tried i3 on here. I think you need to put ext4 into the kernel yourself. I believe you would have. I mean, you definitely have to build support for it yourself. It's not in there by default. Did you enable XenoDM? No. It is more secure than StartX. However, I don't give 2 fucking shits. I love StartX. StartX is fine. Works great for me. So, and XenoDW or XenoDM, whatever, looks terrible. In my opinion, looks terrible. So, rather just do StartX. Yeah, again, may just be i3. Tried both exec i3 and i3. Sometimes the whole screen turns red. Dude, I know, I'm so based. So based. I mean, like, really, in all honesty, is StartX really going to be the security vulnerability that gets me? Probably not. Probably not. let's just be real with each other. Glowsec, how's it going? I have not had any experience with coding Rust on here. Now, if you're going to be using OpenBSD, a resource I highly recommend you use is the OpenBSD ports here, which is fantastic. And you could just go over here and search Rust, and let's see. Yep, so Rust is available over here on OpenBSD, so I'm going to assume you won't really have any problems with Rust or Rust-based programs here on OpenBSD. And then again, so the reason I recommend going to this website is, or at least having this bookmarked, openports.se, is this website here has everything in the ports tree. And so like you could go into games here and go through here and see what there is. I mean, you might be surprised to find out that there's the Dolphin emulator in here. Where's it at? Or at least I thought there was the Dolphin emulator. Maybe I was wrong. There's not. But I know, hold on, let's go down here. There's mine. Wait, y'all are having lag? Okay, so it's lagging. Okay. Okay, here we go. Should be better now, hopefully. Who knows? I bumped up the things, so yeah, I just bumped up settings, so hopefully it's working fine now. Maybe, who knows? I had just taken down the settings, so yeah, it seems to be working much better now. Now that I've bumped up all the settings, it seems to be working much better, much better. I mean, I'm going to assume the audio is still out of sync and everything, but Glowsec. Okay, may I ask why BSD? Why BSD? Because I tried out OpenBSD not too long ago, got really into it. I just really like it. That's really it. I just really like OpenBSD. That's really it. And I can still play some games on it, which, I mean, the thing for me is I don't play a ton of games, but I do like to play a little bit of FOSS games. A little bit. I like to be able to chill and hang out with my friends, play a little bit of video games from time to time, and I can do that. Like, but everything you said before for a few minutes didn't go through. I'm sure. I'm sure. But wait, I didn't. I see your. So I'm not saying about develop, but you should definitely keep this website openports.c bookmarked, because this just has everything that's in the ports trees, and you'd be surprised just how much is in here. Lagging hard again. Error DC. Decode. Bad VLC. Thread message. MJPEG decode. Bad VLC. What does that even mean? Bad VLC. What? Hey, Ghost Ranger. So I mean, I should be fine. What does that even mean, bad VLC? Okay, well, as far as I can tell on my end, everything's fine. As far as I can tell. But Ghost Ranger, how's it going, man? How's it going? Yeah, I'm gonna blame Matt for the lag too. I think it's Matt's fault, 100%. I definitely think it's Matt's fault. The most I do is download a bunch of programming languages and go ham in them. There you go. Checking on my phone to make sure audio's coming through and everything. Oh no, why am I dropping shit? Okay, I'm glad that it's working now. It's like it's eating up your system resources. I don't think so. Like, look, it is definitely eating up RAM. Don't get me wrong here. This streaming here on OpenBSD is very RAM intensive, for OpenBSD. Like, I can have Chrome open here on OpenBSD with like multiple tabs, be doing stuff in the terminal and have a Vim document open, or like a config file or something open in Vim, and maybe be eating up a gig, a little over it, maybe. Like RAM usage is super light here. But with that being the case, yes, it is definitely eating up RAM, but no, not really on the CPU side. Anyone know how to create the auto install script to be able to do custom partitions? What do you mean the auto install script? If you're talking about for OpenBSD, when you get to the partitioning part, there's the auto layout, but then you can also do a custom layout from there. It gives you the option. I think it's C, and then you can do a custom partitioning layout. Oof, yeah. Exams keep your life busy. Yeah. I mean, 8 gigabytes is definitely a lot for it to be eating up, but if we're being completely honest, I've got plenty of RAM for it, and I'm streaming using FFmpeg at some pretty decent quality. I'm streaming at 1080p with, I mean, not bad settings coming out. The stream should hopefully be pretty damn good quality. Yes, a lot of commands are different, like a lot. Like the way that you would approach something. Like, hold on. I think a good example is if we go on here and we search for LSBLK on OpenBSD. Here we go. I think this is it. Is this the one where the guy gives the different options? No, maybe on Reddit. No. There's somewhere where they talk about it. Yeah, but okay, so they're not going to do that. But if you wanted to find out your DIS, you're going to use sysctl right here. So you can find out which disk you have. So I just have my one disk that's the NVMe drive inside of this laptop here. And so it's just going to list it out. And then if you wanted to, again, figure out how the partitions are on it, df-h, that's going to show you like all of the partitions. Yeah, but you can also do auto install scripts for predetermined params like users. Just haven't seen one with the partitioning. Yeah, I haven't done anything like that so far. So unfortunately, there I am clueless. Sorry, brother. Would the FAQ have info about command difference from Linux to OpenBSD? That is a good question. I actually don't know that. We will go here and see if they do. I doubt they're going to have just a section that's like, this is the differences between. Here we go. We have a section on migrating to OpenBSD. here are some commonly encountered differences between OpenBSD and other Unix variants. OpenBSD is a BSD style Unix following the 4.4 BSD design closely. Linux and Solaris are System V style systems. Some Unix-like operating systems such as System V and BSD characteristics. Some Unix-like operating systems mix System V and BSD characteristics. A common place where this causes confusion is the startup scripts. OpenBSD uses the RC system. OpenBSD is a complete system intended to be kept in sync. It is not a kernel plus utilities that can be upgraded separately from each other. OpenBSD maintains a ports tree to provide third-party software. Pre-compiled packages are created and distributed by the OpenBSD ports team. OpenBSD uses CVS to keep track of source code changes. OpenBSD pioneered anonymous CVS, which allows anyone to extract the full source tree for any version of OpenBSD at any point. There is also a web interface. OpenBSD has gone through heavy and continual security auditing to ensure the quality and security of the code. And they are not fucking joking when they say continual security auditing. They are constantly spending a ridiculous amount of their development effort auditing their own code to make sure that it's as secure as possible. Like, it's ridiculous. OpenBSD does not support journaling file systems. Instead, we use soft updates feature of the fast file system. Keep that in mind. Does not support journaling file systems. Keep that in mind. OpenBSD comes with packet filter. This means that network address translation, queuing, and filtering are handled through pfctl, pf, and pf.conf. OpenBSD's default shell is KSH, which is based on the public domain Korn shell. Shells such as Bash and many other shells can be added from packages. Yes, so you can install Bash and make it your default, which is what I do, because KSH can go suck a fat D. I'm not really a big fan of it. It's not that it's terrible, it's just also why it's not Bash, you know. Or ZSH. ZSH is also a great option. Either way, devices are named by driver, not by type. In other words, there are no ETH0 and ETH1 devices. It would be EM0 for an Intel Pro, BGE0 for Broadcom, or REL0 for a Raylink wireless device, etc. OpenBSD and several other platforms use two-layer disk partitioning system, where the first layer is the fdisk BIOS visible partition and the second is the disk label. Some other operating systems encourage you to customize your kernel for your machine. OpenBSD users are encouraged to simply use the standard generic kernel provided and tested by the developers. That is true. You're really not meant to use another kernel. You're meant to interact with the kernel and change parameters for your kernel, but you're really not meant to be adding shit or taking it away from the kernel. Let's see. It's refusing to read my XFCE terminal config. Weird. It should. I swear it's problem after problem. Yeah, it's probably just to do with you not being familiar with it. I mean, your file might need to be in a different place or something. You might just need to do a little bit of Googling and search out like XFCE on OpenBSD. See what people are saying about, configuring XFCE on OpenBSD. Because it might just be that, like, your config files, and instead of needing to be in the home directory, they need to go into /user / somewhere. Who knows? No problem, data dealer. Lord, even LSBLK isn't found. Yes, I've been talking about that for a minute now. DU and DF exist. Yes, just use DF-H, and then if you want to get your disk names or anything like that, it's sysctl hw.disk names. And then I believe you can also do like, is it disk list? No. Good Lord. It's something else. There's another command that you can run. Disk count. That's what it is. Disk count. And you can find out how many disks you have, obviously. And I think that command is pretty self-explanatory. Feels good listening to this while I'm coding. Awesome. Yeah. Glad that we could be there for you. Both Bash and Fish are GPL licensed, so the BSDs are against them just on that fact alone. I wouldn't say against them, but don't prefer them. Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's a bloody like war between BSDs and GPL shit. No. It's just, nah. Yes, Bash is licensed under the GPL. KSH is public domain. I understand why they use KSH. Just Bash is better. Let's be fucking real. Let's be real, boys. Let's be real. Bash is better. Wait, Fish is GPL? As far as I know, it is. As far as I know. Never mind, it's reading my XFC. Had to change monospace font. Yeah, so TFL, one area where OpenBSD is exactly the same is you can run fc-list and then pipe it into grep for stuff to figure out, what your fonts are called and all that stuff. That's one way it's similar. DT, oh yeah, by the way, I don't know if I said this, but DT, welcome to the stream, man. Hopefully you're doing good. Hopefully the day has treated you well. You're sat back, relaxed. Hell, if you're doing real good, you got a beer in your hand. You really relaxed. No, it's okay, TFL. Like, we all have been exactly there where you're trying out something completely new and there's just so much shit that you want to get working. And so anytime you hit even the slightest snag, you're instantly like, oh, this is going to be it. This is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. And you're like, oh, that wasn't really that big of a problem. You'll have to pry the GNU core utils from my cold, dead hands. I mean, for me, I really could care less. I mean, I like the core utils. Don't get me wrong. I really like them. But yeah, it's not like I have to have anything. As long as there's a competent alternative that does the same thing, I'm okay. It really doesn't have to be any one thing. I mean, I would prefer that, like, I'm not using freaking Windows to get my job done, but, that's just a whole different conversation there. How do you search for packages, like apt cache search kind of thing? If I'm being completely honest, like, for me, when it comes to finding packages and everything, now we'll dive in, we'll find the command for searching for it, but I honestly haven't even done that. I keep the openports.sc link bookmarked, and I will go here, and if I'm looking for a specific package, I'll search for it and see if it's in here. Like, let's say we were just, for example, searching for Super Tux Cart to see if it was in here. I can search it, find it. And the reason I do that is because typically when I have this site up and I just see it, I'll come over here and just start browsing through stuff. And I mean, you'll just find really cool programs. Like, there's just so much in the ports tree. I like to search and discover things through the openports.sc website. That being said, let's go and find the command for finding a new package. pkg underscore add. Well, hold on. Let's see. Is there a search? Nope. No search. So let's see. Add and can be used to install new packages, update, replace existing packages. Nope. Okay. So let's go into the OpenBSD website and go into the FAQ, because I bet you if we just go down in here, system management, resetting character sets, directory, package management, that's probably there. Hold on, finding packages. To search for any given package name, use the -q flag of package info. So we can search for any given package name with package info -q. There you go. Again, go to the FAQ, man. If you need to know anything about OpenBSD, go to the FAQ. It's there, and it's all concise and like very much makes sense. Like, I'm telling you, man, I can't shill for the FAQ enough. It's fucking incredible. It takes the Arch Wiki and shits on it, because like it has everything that the Arch Wiki would, but it's like 10 times smaller, 10 times more concise, and there's not like, and mainly the reason that it's that way is because there's not 50 different fucking ways to accomplish one task. Like there's not 50 different ways to search for a package, you know? Oh, you had already put it in chat. Yes, that's it. Nice, you're back on the path. Yep. I'm loving the OpenBSD life. It's fantastic. There's nothing better. So many celebs. TFL, DT, who's next? Oh, we got all the celebs in here. Dude, like, I had someone message me on Discord, and like I messaged, like they personally messaged me, and I messaged them back, and they were like, "Holy shit, you responded!" And like we got to talk, and they're like, "It's just, you know, like, props to you for even responding to your fans." I'm like, "What?" Like, I just consider y'all friends. Like, and I also definitely don't consider myself like popular or famous. Like, what? Like, of course I messaged you back. Like, of course. Like, I don't deliberately miss people. Unless it's a YouTube comment that I just don't feel like responding to at the moment. Then if I don't respond to you and it's been like 2 days, I probably won't do it. But don't take it personally. It's just, it's probably just because at the moment when I saw it, I just didn't have a good response. That's cool. I like FC list. Yep. You've got more subs than I do. True. TFL is definitely, TFL is like that type. He's an annoying type of famous. Like, you know, he's like, he's that type of famous where like he's well known enough that you would be like, why don't I know his face and his name? Why don't I? I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with him. TFL definitely was like, come on, man. I don't want to share my face. I don't want to share my name. I want to be private. Respect. I guess I'm okay with letting people harass me. Come on. Well, no, please don't. Please don't harass me, okay? 7 years of core utils made me quite dependent on them. True. Unless there's a flag for it. There might be. Yep. True. I mean, don't read the manual. Just ask me questions. We'll dive through it as a group. Let me guess. Matt won some bet, and now you have to use VSD. No, actually, I really love it. I really love it. The funny thing is Matt's probably going to be annoyed because now that I'm on OpenBSD, that greatly limits the amount of like things that we can do, or different window managers that we can do the Rice Wars with, because you can't just choose anything. Has to work, at least half decent on OpenBSD, which as far as I know, most window managers are ported over to OpenBSD, but still. He's just gonna be like, that makes it more complicated. Dude. Matt, I don't think Matt would force me to use OpenBSD. Matt would, if he could, like if Matt could get inside of my house and get a gun and hold me up with it, I feel like he'd have me install Gentoo and then like use it for like a long time. Like actually use it. That would be true torture. And the same thing for him. I mean, if I held him up at gunpoint and made him use Gentoo, that would be torture for him. Like, I mean, I can already hear his like, muffled like whimpers as he's trying to like use Gentoo. He's like, but do I have to? This is terrible. I don't wanna. And just like the lone tear that comes down from having to use Gentoo. Dude, we need to get Matt to his patron goal, so he'll have to use Gentoo. That's what we need to do. I'm famous to you, crazy. That's what matters. That's what matters. I am almost to 1,000 subscribers, which surprises the hell out of me. We're like pretty much like 30 away. Like, just incredible. Nice. Yeah. Now, one thing I will go ahead and say, just because all of you guys are in here, and I do want to go ahead and like let y'all know, when it comes to the merch that's in the description, look, I do have a 1K subscriber like merch line already. It doesn't have like cool hoodies and stuff in it. It's just got 2 items. Okay. And the thing about those is they will only, the 1K sub merch, it's live already, because when I hit 1K subs, it will only be up for a month after that. And it will never get sold again. It like after that, it'll be like I never made it. Yes, buddy. Yeah, you gotta go outside. You gotta go outside. Yeah. Buddy definitely wants to go outside. I'm probably known for mainly my obsession with terminals. Yeah. Mainly shell programming. That's really what I know you for. Oh, Ghost Ranger. I'm actually glad you said that. So I am not actually planning on moving out to the desert anymore. I'm not. So I originally bought a piece of property, sold it, and then was going to buy a slightly bigger piece of property in a little bit different county, just because they had laxer building codes. Like, I take that back. They didn't have building codes, but that's besides the point. I didn't really get talked out of it, but it made a lot more sense for me to just stick around here, save up, because I mean I can still eventually buy the piece of property again. But I mean the plan is now just to put the wagon. My mom has actually said that I could put the wagon up here, stay in the wagon out there for most of the year, just keep my room in here for like as an office for occasionally throughout the year and during the winter. And she's more than fine with me turning the backyard into a big like garden, and me putting a chicken coop out in the backyard. So I was like, oh, okay, as long as you're all right with all that stuff. So that's going to be a project for the beginning of the of spring. As soon as spring starts, I've got a shitload of work to do. Because I've got, like, at that point I'll have to not move the wagon from my grandparents' house up here, and then unload it, put it in the backyard. Then I'll have to get a chicken coop, put that in the backyard. I'll have to get multiple planters, and they need to be big planters, put in the backyard, because we're going to start multiple grapevines in the spring, and we're going to be planting some big sunflower, like some sunflower plants. Trying to think, what else are we planting? Planting a whole bunch of strawberry and blueberries for sure. Then squash, cucumber, tomato, and then we're planting some. I'm going to get 3 or 4 fruit trees and put them in the backyard. Dude, install it on hardware, man. You'll have a great time. Just back up all of your stuff to like Nextcloud or whatever cloud service you use. Back it up there. Install it on hardware. I don't know if you have a huge problem with using Chromium. If you don't have a problem with using Chromium, then you're gonna have an amazing time. Firefox is okay on OpenBSD. Chromium is incredible on OpenBSD. But TFL, when you do get into using OpenBSD and you get your browser installed, hit me up and I'll guide you through, which actually, Buddy needs to go outside, so I'm going to let him outside. Buddy, stop. That fucking hurt, man. You got a big ass claw. Anyway, I'm going to let Buddy outside, and when I get back, we'll go through how to, good Lord, if I could think, we'll go through, damn, dude, I lost my, Buddy hurt me, like, oh, when he got up on me, his claw dug deep in my arm, so that totally made me lose my train of thought. Yeah, I totally lost my train of thought. But yeah, install it on hardware, man. You'll have a good time. Oh yeah. So what I was going to say is we'll go through setting up for when you get a browser installed. You need to set the unveil settings so that you can actually get more than just your downloads folder available to the browser. Because out of the gate on OpenBSD, both Firefox and Chromium can only see your downloads folder. That's it. They will not be able to see any other folder on the system, period. And I believe Firefox comes with actually no folders out of the gate. I can't remember. I think it will only write to the downloads folder. It can't even read from it out of the gate. Buddy, no sir. You do. No sir. All right. So I'm gonna quickly let Buddy outside, and then I'll be right back. Come on. or don't. You know, you just do you, man. You do you. I'm sorry for even... Alright. Sorry for taking so long, boys. Family wanted to talk, of course. If you held me up at gunpoint and told me to run Chin2, I'd take the bullet. Dude, same. Fucking facts. Same. Any person with half a brain cell would take the bullet. Come on now. Every Gen2 user out there is like screaming. That is, if they're even still watching. I bet if Matt would go through the Gen2 install, it would be a downhill from there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, he's gonna hate it. I mean, he just would hate it. Do some shell programming and show us the BSD utils. I can walk you through some of my scripts, no problem. Some weed man, please. Well, I can't grow weed out here, brother. I'm in a legal state. Only thing I can do is go pick up some Delta 8 from the store. I can also go buy CBD, that's about it. Let's see. Let me cd into my .local local bin folder, and so you can see all of my little scripts down in here. And wait, hold on. Let me move my webcam up there. That way it's out of the way, so you can see everything. So if I show you my time and date, like for one thing, because I'm using Bash on here, if I keep my scripts using this right here, /bin/sh, they work on Linux and OpenBSD, no problem. So, well, with some exceptions. Again, we're going to get into that. You know, the date command is obviously the same on Linux and OpenBSD. Now, for something like our my volume down and up script, which I have bound to Alt and the brackets. So the left bracket turns my volume down, the right bracket turns it up. For here, I have a section for Linux and for OpenBSD. So for Linux, I'm using PACTL, so the Pulse Audio Control utility, to change it down and up by 5%. And here on OpenBSD, I'm using SDIOCTL to turn the output level up and down 10%. I don't know, a little bit different. Makes it a little bit easier. Turn up the audio faster. But anyway, yeah, so, and then using egrep to output that. Don't really have to use egrep there, but that's just what I'm using, okay? Yeah, I mean, again, most things are the same. Like that's the thing. Like, because I'm using Bash, like for shell scripting and stuff, it's mostly the same. I'm just using Bash. Like, just the tools that you would use to complete different stuff are different. Like, I don't know if I've modified my bat status script at all. No, I haven't. I have not, because that won't work here. Because essentially the bat status script, it just needs to be edited to use APM. Because this, like, I just have to use APM and then grep out what I don't want, or grep out what I want, which is awesome. Like, I don't know. There's really no, like, it just, everything's more simple here. Like, everything. Are you going to record your progress? Yes. So the progress on the backyard, wagon, all of that stuff, the off-grid stuff will be on here, as well as the off-grids, or as well as the like OpenBSD, Linux, computer stuff. Yeah. Because, I mean, it's going to tie in great, because there's definitely going to be videos where I'm outside in the garden doing stuff, you know, with OpenBSD or Linux, or, you know, tech in general. crazy. That could be fun to write. Fun. Have a lot to write. Maybe. Well, I mean, if you're going to be, if you're going to be switching over to OpenBSD, and you don't already have one of these set up, take a smaller system that you have, get a USB hard drive or get a hard drive for it that's big, whatever. Get yourself like a NAS hard drive or just some hard drive that's pretty big that you can back up all of your shit to. And get yourself a Nextcloud instance. Like just install Linux or OpenBSD, whatever, to it. Install just install Arch Linux to it. Like you could just install Arch Linux to it, and then just install Docker and install Nextcloud using Docker, and then run your Nextcloud instance from that. And then all you gotta do is enter the IP address and port 8080, and you'll get a Nextcloud login screen. You can just log in. It's super simple. Super simple to set up a Nextcloud instance. And then you can just back up all of your stuff to there. So you can use it for backups, sharing files between people. You can use it for a ton of stuff, but you should just have one. Like, you need to get one. If you don't have one, get one. But Chris, how's it going? Welcome to the stream, man. Fonts not working, mister. What fonts aren't working? Buddy is great. Yes, Buddy is fantastic. Buddy is fantastic. How about a profile? What do you mean profile? Oh, yeah. Data dealer. Have a good one. Have a good one. It was good meeting you as well, brother. Hope you got that fix in your state soon. Hopefully. That'd be great. That'd be great. I'm watching this from Gentoo. Lol. I'm so far behind on chat. If you show how to get binary builds from Calculate Linux, will you try it? Probably not, because I mean, if you're just going to be getting a whole bunch of binary builds and using Calculate Linux, what the fuck is the point of using Gentoo? Like, legitimately, what the fuck is the point? Why? Fucking why? Like, why? Hawk is there, grep is there, yep. Well, I mean, they do have like long options like for like PyCom, but like, yeah, not as far as I know, not for like the core system utilities. But like PyCom, you still have like -- experimental backends. Yes, this is it installed. So it's not it is a 15-inch laptop, but it's the Dell G5 SE5505. That is the exact model that this is installed on, that I'm streaming from. It's fantastic on this laptop. The battery life is better than it is on Linux, which I mean, I can't say enough good things about this. How much is Nextcloud though? It's completely free, especially if you host it yourself. If you If you host it yourself on like, an extra machine just on your local network where only devices connected to your local network can, access it, free, completely free, or however much the cost of an extra tiny PC. Like, a Raspberry Pi would be fine. You could use something else, but again, a Raspberry Pi would be fine. So however much a Raspberry Pi and a Seagate USB hard drive is, there you go. That's worst case scenario. For me, Docker was fine. Okay, look, I've been using Docker for a while. It's fucking fine. All right, it's fine. I have a good time with Docker. Yes, Discord. So Discord emoji fonts are fucking finicky as hell on Chromium. I don't know why. Cannot get it fixed. I have proper emoji fonts installed. It just, and other places on the system, like, if I press Mod Shift E up here, you can see some of them are not installed, but most of them are. It just, it's the weirdest thing. Maybe the font that I've got installed for emojis is just shit. Maybe I need to pick out a different one. I have no idea. Binaries for pre-built stuff and compile the stuff that you want to customize. Well, yeah, but like if most of your system is pre-compiled, why don't you just pick any other Linux distro? Because on any other Linux distro, you could compile what you want from source. No other Linux distribution stops you from doing that. Difference between Gentoo and every other distribution is that the whole base system is not pre-compiled. Singularity is a better Docker. Is a better Docker, and you can use the GPU. Is the thing they use on supercomputers made from the guy that creates CentOS Linux and the Beowulf cluster thing. I have no idea what Singularity is or anything. I have no idea. Also, I'm running a Nextcloud instance. I don't need a GPU. It's not like I'm doing like AI or like machine learning. I'm just running a file hosting server. Like I definitely don't need a fucking GPU for that. Wait, I see this error. /dev/wd0d on /user is not large enough. It may be because you didn't for one. So I have two questions here. How much did you allocate for your VirtualBox? Hold on, Buddy just did something. Let me see what he did. What did you do? What did you do? Oh my God, Buddy, you were so funny. Oh. You okay? Did it scare you? Yeah. Somebody got their tail stuck on the door of his cage. Oh shit. I thought he threw the motherboard that I've got sitting on top of his cage just clean off of it. I was about to be so upset. It's an old motherboard and stuff, but still, I got plans for it. No, that's fine. So it won't even install. Good job, OpenBSD. Firefox should install. I have a feeling that it's just because of space problems on your partition where it's trying to install. Your drive's probably small enough, and when it cut everything up, your home drive is a little bit too big, while the drive where Firefox, or the partition where Firefox is going to install to, is too small. No, sir. Get down. Get down. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. He was like, well, I ain't no good boy. Yeah. Have you tried the default OpenBSD window manager? Yes and no. I tried it. Did I look at it and use it for approximately a minute and a half? Yes. Did I like it? No. Would I consider using it? No. Would I consider theming it and making it look better? No. It looked like ass out of the gate. Lots of space related errors. I even let OpenBSD automatically set up the partitions, and it has lots of space. So run a df-h command, -h, and figure out which drives are filled up too much. And like that might tell you what's going on there. Like, because like user local, like a lot of stuff goes to user local. And so if you don't have enough space on user local, that can be a problem. Look, the auto partitioning does a good job, but it's not impeccable. But that's why, essentially, like what you need to understand is you're learning how you should partition your drives. Like on here, it takes using it for a little bit to understand where your stuff's going to go, because OpenBSD, it has its partitions much more segmented than Linux. So you can't just install willy-nilly and have a limited amount of space. You essentially need to understand how to cut up your drive so that you don't ever have problems. But that requires using the system and learning how it installs stuff and everything to know how to do that. Because trust me, my first install of OpenBSD, yes, I was hitting a lot of resource limits. Void is pretty damn good. I gave it 8 gigabytes. Uh, 8 gigabytes is a pretty small install base, man. That's pretty small. The only reason it's small is because, again, OpenBSD is going to take out most of your drive and give it to your home partition. And that leaves almost no space for multiple other partitions. Look, it may be one problem after another. I wouldn't look at it. That's a pretty negative way of looking at it, like one problem after another. I mean, if you had the same mindset with Linux, you probably wouldn't have stuck with Linux, you know? when you were switching over from Windows, you know, your first time, everything's fucking different. And so there's a lot of problems that aren't necessarily problems. You're just learning how the system works, and it's completely different. Now, granted, we both know for us, it's been so long since we were like hardcore Windows users. Can't even remember what that was like, but you know that's the case. Like, you got to learn how the system works, and you're gonna encounter different. Like it's completely different. The way the partition scheme is set up and the way that you're going to be installing stuff is so different. Like Linux doesn't give you a dedicated partition for Xorg. That's not a thing. That's just not a thing on Linux. On OpenBSD, it is. Like it's just very different. Very different. You got to learn it completely. And what makes learning OpenBSD as a Linux user even more difficult is it's similar, but not trying to be Linux at all. So it's not trying to emulate Linux, but it is in a lot of ways similar. Ooh, Manjaro. I've heard a lot of people are using Manjaro nowadays. And by the way, Mr. Carlson, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Um, I also really like the Quadro and AMD enterprise cards. Really good, like the W7000 series or W1000 whatever thousand series. Really good cards. Um, Unsurprisingly, slash user is almost full. Yeah, no, when you only give it 8 GB, yeah, I'm not surprised that it's almost full. Like I was expecting, like you gave it like 20 gigs. I'm like, that's really weird. It shouldn't be filled up already, especially with just Firefox and like i3 on it. Like, come on now. But when you've only got 8 GB, when you look at it, like, yeah, the way that it's going to cut up your partitions. I mean, 1 GB of that should go to root by default. So you're really only working with 7 gigs now. And then it wants to allocate most of that to your home partition because it knows you want to store shit on there. And so after it gets done giving most of that drive to your home partition, it's got to work with the rest, giving it to X11, but it's got to make sure that it's got enough to store X11, all of that stuff on there. It's, yeah. The auto partitioner is good, but I would recommend giving it, 20, 25 gigs, which again, like that is plenty of space for OpenBSD. Like 50 gigs would be completely fine. You could install to your heart's content. Cause I don't have any single partition on my computer right here that is more filled up, than what my biggest partition is local, and that's 12 gigs. And as far as I know, that's where a lot of like my games are getting installed to as well. So like that includes game data. So not really a fair analysis. Um, Oh, it didn't do it properly. I mean, the auto partitioning does fail from time to time, but in my experience, it's normally pretty damn good. Like, I mean, again, you might want it a certain, like, different way, but typically for me, like in my experience, it's pretty good. Um, in Linux, I have slash boot, slash var, I have slash temp, and I have slash home, etc. Sure, you're not bitter. Sure, sure. Again, I think it did get assigned better, but you gotta remember, 8 GB is a tiny amount of space, and the way that it's going to cut up the drive is just different. Um, Considering they say it can be installed on 512 megabytes. Well, look, can be installed and then install Firefox on top of it is two totally different things. I mean, like, bro, let's both be honest. We both know any install that's in 512 megabytes cannot also have Firefox installed on it. And also on an install that small, I doubt that you could install. I mean, I would be surprised if you could install more than Vim and Nano and maybe like Git. Maybe those three programs. Yes, you have had many problems. Yes, you have. I'm not going to gaslight you there. You have had many problems. No lie. It's probably assigned too much for swap. That could definitely be a thing. Check your for checking swap. I think is it swap CTL? I think it's swap CTL. Yep. So you could check it out. Is there a -H flag? No, there's not. Well, it's giving it off in blocks. Man swap CTL. Can we get a more... Okay, so we can give it the -K option. That makes it 1K block, which I still don't. Man, can I get like megabytes or like gigabytes? You know, that'd be great. Whatever. You can do that. You can do the math yourself. I'm not doing that. I actually came from Mac OS. Interesting. I yield. I hate to admit it, but you're spitting straight facts. Here's what I did. Root is 1 gigabyte. Home is 1.9. User is 2.9. Not how I do it. No. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You do want to keep if you're going to change up how the partitions are allocated, that's one thing. You want to still have all of the partitions that are on here. All of the all of the partitions that are included on my screen right now. Hold on. Let me zoom in here. Okay, we got to help out TFL here. df-h. You need to have all of these on your system. All of these need to be on your system, because like some stuff, like let's say you install xclip. Xclip is going to try to install it to /user/x11 r6/x11. Like it's going to try and install there. The user/local partition. You need these partitions. So the only thing that you should be doing is changing up how they're allocated. You know, if one is not getting filled up at all, like. Yeah, 12 gigabytes is fine. 12 gigabytes should be better. Swap works pretty much the same way as on Linux. Pretty much the same. I mean, again, I'm telling you, man, you want to have all these partitions. You do. Uh, like, you're going to run into issues. Like, I just take it from somebody with experience, please. I want you to have a positive experience, please. Don't just go just changing the way the partition scheme is. You're probably gonna probably and most definitely gonna run into issues because the way that syspatch works, or not syspatch, the package update commands, like you just sort of do need the separate partitions. There's a reason it's set up this way. Does BSD support LVM? Uh, I don't know that everyone does, but yes, you can get an encrypted OpenBSD and FreeBSD install. I know that for a fact. Scott's done it, but he's had more issues with encrypted installs compared to non-encrypted installs. But yes, you can do it. It just makes it a little bit more complex. Do you have a favorite man page for OpenBSD? Um, to be honest, yes and no. I have a favorite group of man pages. My favorite group of man pages is the SNDIO, SNDIOD, and SNDIOD CTL man pages. Because with those three man pages, you know how the entire audio system on OpenBSD works, and any questions you have about it or interacting with audio on your system can be answered there. And again, essentially, you have to read three fucking pages, and then you know how the entire audio system on OpenBSD works. All right. Got pizza delivered. That's what Buddy started barking at. I really like Discord. Discord's great. Now, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to switching over to something like Matrix or something eventually, but yeah. An 8K would, or like 8 gigabytes would have been fine for like, a basic install. Few extra terminal apps, maybe ST and, DWM and such, and then, surf. No, sir. He just tried to take my food. If I try, I mean like acted like he was going to and then stopped and then just stared at me like with his mouth open, like just near my pizza. Especially when I'm using Emacs, of course. Concerning OpenBSD, yeah. Yes, I should, dude. I should get elevator music that like cues in every time I mute my mic. That would be great. Analytic minded. I mean, I don't know about Steve Jobs level, but I'm just chilling, having a good time. Join OpenBSD on live. I'm not really looking to build like a corporate empire though. I mean, that's pretty much where we differ. Really not worried about building wealth. Well, how do I put that? I'm not interested in building financial wealth because I consider that a fucking joke. I'm more more interested in building emotional and well-being wealth. If I'm wealthy in happiness and good relationships, then who fucking cares about money? I really love free Unix-based operating systems. All the quirks are interesting and puzzly. Yep. Yeah. Well, that's what I really like about OpenBSD. Like, if you're having an issue, like, let's say I was trying to record audio and it wasn't working. If I didn't know what program that I was having issues with, like, you just go to the FAQ here, and then we'll just go to the website, the FAQ, and go in here. We go down to, let's see, browse through here. Ooh, multimedia, configuring audio hardware. And then in here, so I'm trying to record audio. Why is it not working? Oh, using a USB audio interface. That's actually what I'm using. Oh, well, SNDIOD, so the daemon, again, I could click here and go read the man page and understand it. But maybe configured to make SND0 correspond to the USB device if it's connected, or to the internal one when it's not. Oh, interesting. So I don't even have to change anything. So then I could just run this command, restart SNDIOD, and then just rerun like AuCat or whatever I was trying to do to record the audio. And guess what? Boom, my mic will work. Like, I don't know. It's just super simple. It's great. Oh, Matt, how's it going, brother? Yep. I completely agree, Matt. I'm referring to how chill you are with that job reference. Oh, sweet. Thank you. I mean, I try to be pretty chill. I think I'm pretty laid back. Speaking of being laid back and everything, so I have this like nifty Delta 8 vape that like was here on the table and is now gone permanently. Gone somewhere. Yep, I have no idea where it is. Buddy, did you steal my vape? But are you getting high on my vape? Please don't. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm being disrespectful and eating sausage in front of you. Just so y'all know I'm not an animal. Buddy, come here. Come here. Come on. Come on. I was eating in front of him, so he gets to eat a little bit too. See, that way you guys know he's not mistreated. All right? He does not go hungry nor want for much. Dang it, man. TFL has got me like faffing about is like starting to become part of my like repertoire. It's a problem because it's I'm gonna end up saying that here at the house one day. Like my mom's gonna ask me like what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm just faffing about on the computer. She'll be like, what? The fuck did you just say? Your buddy is vaping when I'm not looking. Dude, I told you. I told you. Do as I say, not as I do, man. One day, Matt will try the glory land that is OpenBSD. What am I doing on this computer? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm running OpenBSD. And faffing about. I will enjoy the faff. I think I got pizza. Yep. I got pizza sauce on my face. Awesome. I do love how this talk of OpenBSD has now turned into me just eating pizza and like breathing into a microphone. I'm sorry, y'all. Just had pizza delivered. God. It's so good. When my sister is able to have input on what we get, she gets some good stuff. I was this close to installing OpenBSD myself on my 10-year-old EE PC, but the USB wasn't recognized on boot. Oof. Well, here's what I'll say to that. Use a DD command. Use the .img, which is 4 USB drives. Make sure you get the proper image, i386, because I have OpenBSD running on my super old Acer Aspire 1 netbook with an Intel Atom processor. It's fantastic. Okay. Look, you stick with your 8 gigabytes, man. I hope everything goes well. I would recommend just going like 20 gigs, calling it a day. I mean, Jesus, man, it's 20 gigabytes. I mean, I would really hope you're not treating your computer like it's fucking Auschwitz and like, you know, you just like accent space left and right. I mean, hopefully you got some space left on your drive. But I was able to install FreeBSD. Yeah. FreeBSD is pretty good. But OpenBSD is better. Let's just be real. True. Dude, I totally forgot I was on Discord. Totally forgot. What's up, Zoomer? Hello? Oh, wait, hold on. I have to disconnect and reconnect. Hello? Oh, now I can hear you. Awesome. Not much, dude. Just streaming from OpenBSD. Yep. Mm-hmm. Dude, it sucks to be a Windows user. No. Dylan got super drunk, passed out, and first thing I hear from him today, he is at a club. So don't think I'll be compiling 0AD today either. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, dude, and some of their artwork is really good too. Like, their artwork is pretty cool. Mm. Yeah, I know y'all can't hear them. There's no real way for me to like let y'all hear them unless I put like my earbud, like just like right up to the microphone while he's talking. Then y'all could hear him. But I don't know that that's really a fix for it, you know? Dude, no, like no, let's just be real. It just sucks to be a Windows user. It just does. Dude, I mean, like, can you imagine walking into school and then all of your friends finding out that you use Windows? Like, oh, God. Talk about a way to be like, you know, just partitioned off away from everybody. Solo, alone, a lone rider in the world. No one likes a Windows user, man. Just gonna pause on silence after that statement. If you're a Windows user, I'm just joking, okay? Chill. It's all right. Use what you want to, okay? Just messing around. Ooh, dude. Glowsec asking the real questions. Okay, so it's ham, Italian sausage, and pepperoni. Wait, hold on. Yes, pepperoni. So it's a 3 meat. It's pretty good. Of course he did. I mean, he's so sweet, but yes, he is very much a very weirdly aggressive drunk. Like, he's not that like belligerent drunk, like where like he's actually like threatening, like he's actually violent, but he just becomes all of a sudden like aggressive, and also just aggressive, and then like his jokes of like he's threatening violence, but he's trying to be very joking about it, but it's just terrible. I see you, buddy. I know you want the slice of pizza, but you can't have it. Don't listen to him. He means every word. I remember the first few months. Oh, good Lord. Like Linux would break. Jesus. Windows breaks all the fucking time. Like, I love how even in Linus Tech Tips video, like he's about to install Pop OS and Windows is just glitching out. Like, can't even select reboot. Like, it's just, it's one of those things where like a lot of people would have you believe that if you're using Windows, you just don't have problems, period. You still do. Even Zoomer, who like, he's the one who popped into the call with me, who y'all sadly can't hear. He still has issues with Windows like 11. He uses it. Like, I mean, he's had like shit on his taskbar not show up. He's had a whole bunch of issues. He's had it where the entire taskbar like was just transparent. Like the bar was there, but all the buttons and everything on it were like transparent. Okay, so it installed fine. We'll see if he can get Firefox installed. See, for me, like what I originally did is I switched completely over to Linux, then switched back over to Windows for gaming and VR for a bit. And right before that, I did buy a MacBook. But that was it was a long story of why I got the MacBook. But that didn't last long. I mean, that lasted like months before I got rid of the MacBook. Yeah, used Windows for gaming and VR for a while, and then went back to Linux like full time. I will occasionally install Windows on an extra drive, and like install Steam and Half-Life Alyx, and then play it on the Quest 2, or like Boneworks or something like that occasionally. Not frequently though. But like for me, I like to switch completely over to things. I really do. Like, I created a snapshot. Now I'm going through the usual setup crap again. Good. Ethan, how's it going? We are just talking about OpenBSD and how I use it and how it is and everything. So 3, how's it going? I'm gonna butcher your name, but I'm gonna assume it's like Sut3 or I mean I can't X-Re. Yeah, I'm gonna butcher it anyway. It's Sith3. Okay, cool. Sith3. Again, I butcher usernames left and right. I love OpenBSD. Yeah, I don't think there's any other way to put it. I fucking love it. It's amazing. It's great. Not going back to Linux. I mean, I've done OpenBSD content in the past. I've checked it out in the past. But 7.0 is this is where I officially join the OpenBSD community, and you know, it's not like I'm turning my back on Linux, but yeah, it's just this is better. It just is. I can play Xenotic with friends. I have a Xenotic gameplay video coming out tomorrow, which I think is pretty dope. It was edited completely in OpenBSD. The thumbnail done in OpenBSD. This stream is being done with OpenBSD through FFMPEG. If I go over here, you can see I'm streaming using FFmpeg. So, it's nice. I really don't have any problems using OpenBSD. I have to do some stuff differently, but all just works. One thing that we could eventually do during the stream is I need to go into my config. Oh wait, I'm in my bin folder. Go to Dunst. Vim into my Dunst RC. Because I do need to change the colors. Do need to change these to match the Google Dark theme that I'm going with here. Because if you'll see me change the volume up here, it does not match the color scheme. Wait, hold on. I'm missing out on some chat. I just noticed that ls shows hidden files by default. Weird. Does it? No? Shouldn't. For me, it doesn't show. Maybe that's in KSH. Maybe KSH has like an alias set up by default to do that. I don't know. Maybe. I have no idea. Again, I'm using bash here on this, but yes, dude, the NeoFetch OpenBSD logo is so awesome. It's so good. It's awesome. It just is. Let me go over here and grab you and take you over here with me. Oh, I keep hitting Buddy's bowl. He's got it put over here. I'm debating whether to use OpenBSD or Linux for school. Look, just me personally, if OpenBSD works, use it. If it's not going to work for you and for school, then don't use it. If you have any problems with anything on OpenBSD, ask. I'll help you out. One of the things that you have to do is let's ls-al here. I know you need to go into, oh wait, hold on, it's not going to be in here. If you go into, I believe it's, wait, hold on, df-h, let me get this up here. Yeah, I believe it's in, so cd into slash user slash, is it in local? Yeah, so you have to go into user local, and it's different for Chrome or Firefox, but and well, I'm using Chromium, but again, it's going to be called Chrome. So you have to cd into Chrome here, and then where is it at? It's, you have to cd into Chrome again. Okay, no, Chrome's not directory. It should have been in here. The unveil shit. Hold on. Let us go back over here and see. Oh, hey, Zoomer. Unveil Chromium OpenBSD. Hello? No thanks. Oh, hold on. Disconnect. There we go. Hey, now I can hear you. Wait. Oh, hey, how's it going, man? Well, when it comes to audio, I mean, it should be, should, uh, still shouldn't be a problem. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, okay. All right. So I just remembered where it is. Okay. So it's not in here. You need to go up to. Well, right now I'm showing. So. No, this is DWM. Yeah. So you need to go into your Etsy folder, and then you can go into Chromium in here. Oh no! For the stream, I was talking about um, inside of Chromium. Like when you install a browser, you have the browser is only going to have access to the downloads folder, and so you'll want to go in here to the slash Etsy and then slash the browser that you're using, whether it be Chromium or Firefox, and vim into the unveil file, unveil.main file. And when you go to the bottom of it, you'll have use this directory for downloading and uploading. And so you can put folders that you want it to have access to in here. So for Chromium, I only let it have access to my downloads and videos folders because that's the only places that I'm going to be downloading or uploading from. So for OpenBSD, you must install it over Ethernet. The way that OpenBSD is going to work is when you go through the installer, when you get to the wireless or internet devices setup part, the interfaces, you're going to start off with your Ethernet device, go through and set that up. And then after that, type out whatever your Wi-Fi device was, whether it be like IWX or IWE, like whatever. Okay, well then you would type out that, set that up, and then you don't have to, but you could also set up your virtual LAN, and then yeah, again, like most people don't ever set it up, but you can. And then after you get done with the install, you'll do a reboot, and after that reboot, as long as you're still connected with Ethernet, it's going to use the Ethernet and pull down, it'll run an FW update command and pull down all of the firmware for your Wi-Fi device and all of that. Because the firmware has to be distributed separately. Yes. But when it comes to setting up your wireless devices, it's actually super simple. So in the terminal screen that I have here, I'm inside of the Etsy folder. And if you're watching the stream, you'll see like I have hostname.iwx, hostname.re0, hostname.vlan. And so I would open this up, but that contains like my actual, but you'll essentially just go into, like, you'll just edit this host name dot for the wireless device. And the way that the file will look, if I just open up Vim, is you're going to type out your SSI, or what is it? Yeah. You'll do all of that in one line. I'm trying to remember what it is, because it's, I'm trying to remember exactly the phrase. Hold on. Oh no, did I close the webcam? I think I closed the webcam. Whoops. Whatever. Not that big of a deal. Let me go over here. If I open up OpenBSD on a laptop. It's going to take it a second because, of course, my internet wants to be slow. It probably has something to do with the fact that I'm streaming and using Discord at the same time. Network setup. Okay, so the way the file is set up is, it's join and then in quotes your SSID and then WPA key and then in quotes your passphrase. And then on the next, I can put it in the YouTube chat right now. And that is actually a complete article on getting OpenBSD configured for laptops, but it's also good for desktops too, because it goes over not just power management, but extending hardware and resource requirements, all that stuff. And don't worry, I send it to you on Discord. No problem. Mm-hmm. I'm getting a large USB 3 and it's like Nomad BSD on there. Oh, dude, I've never tried Nomad BSD. I've heard good things about it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, and just so everyone knows, I do understand that you can't hear him through Discord. I'm not recording desktop audio right now, unfortunately. No, it's just I don't know how to do it. Like using AWCAT, I could record both the desktop audio and my headphones pretty easily. It's just I'm not sure how to do it with FFmpeg yet. I'm Yep. Yeah. I'm not really looking to restart anything. Um, TFL said it's weird hearing a one-sided conversation. I'm like, yeah, or just hearing one side. No. Um, oh, you know, Sithri asked a pretty good question. He was like, "So is there a way to not use DM or, um, yeah, Xeno DM, but get, still get, good lord, if I could read, but still get into DWM. I know it's kind of safer, but I don't like using DWM. All right, look, yes, just use StartX. That's what I use. Yeah, inside of the inside of the installer when you're going through it, it actually defaults to not starting Xeno DM. Yeah, I keep wanting to say DWM, but no. Um, uh, mhm. Well, all right, man. I'm gonna pop out of here just because I know this is probably awful for people in the stream because it's just like a lot of silence. Mm. Yeah, and hopefully I'll see you in chat, brother. Have a good one. Bye. All right. So back to catching up on chat. Yeah, that is what I use. I use StartX. That's what I like. Just use StartX. Yeah, for me, StartX just it works fine. And I do not run StartX as root. No, you don't need to add yourself to a group for X. You should add yourself to the staff group, um, so that you have higher resource access, like resource privileges, or you have access to all of your available resources. I didn't have to change any permissions or anything. I just used my Xnet RC. Oh, yes. Well, I mean, again, there's nothing like a quality mukbang, am I right? Or am I right? There just can't be anything better than me making mouth noises next to a microphone. We all know. We all know. But yeah, so do you guys have any other questions about OpenBSD at all? Uh, If y'all have any questions, throw them in chat. I'm going to go grab a refill on my drink, and I'm not going to grab any more food. You're welcome, TFL. But I will go grab a little bit more drink, and I'm going to try and see where my Delta A vape's at. What you just do? What you just do, buddy? What you just do? Buddy, did you just try and grab some pizza off my desk? I was just looking at a better dot file management and found your Yatum video. Barely anyone has a video on Yatum. I know, and I freaking love Yatum. It's so good. Buddy, you stay back, dude. So here's another thing. I don't have Yatum already installed on here. So like, let's get Yatum installed on OpenBSD, because as y'all know, it's going to be super difficult. It's going to be incredibly hard. Wait, hold on. Let me go in here and just see if it's already. All right, so it is for FreeBSD. Okay, but it's not available for OpenBSD. But we can just download this and put it where it's supposed to go. So let's do a paste in here. It's just a curl command. Failure, writing to output destination. Oh, we probably just need to run do as command for both of these. Bada bing, boom. Okay, so now if I run Yatum, bam, Yatum's installed. That was super difficult. Golly, man. Life over here on OpenBSD just sucks, man. It's all so difficult. How's life without LSBLK? Look, it's fine. It's fine. I don't care. Like, I don't care. I know it might bother TFL, you know. Yep, see there it is. Of course you miss it. But it's all right. It's all right. DF is fine. No, Smoig, you're not too late at all. You're not too late at all. We're just talking about OpenBSD. If you have any questions at all, ask away. And I mean, this is just very much a general sort of sit down here and chat sort of stream. Give me 1 second. So we're gonna disconnect the stream for just a second, and then reconnect. I just want to try something real quick. This will also get me the webcam back, because I accidentally closed that. Might be, but also I want to see if I can do a little bit of tweaking and improve. All right, there we go. So hopefully the audio is better now. Oh wait, hold on. I think we were over. Nope, we were right here. Yep. So hopefully the audio is better. Maybe the audio is in sync with the webcam. Maybe. Who knows? What's OpenRWT? I have no idea what OpenRWT is. I have no idea. Ooh, we got a new subscriber. Awesome. Scott, thank you. This over here, like this streaming stuff, if that's what you're asking about, that's my streaming script. We actually went over that in the beginning of the stream, but I have the mock version of it here. It's bootlegged OBS. And so this is how I'm streaming. I'm using FFplay to open up the webcam over here. And then I'm using FFMPEG to capture the screen. I'm recording in 1080p with an FPS of 30, capturing the display, using SNDIO, using the default audio device, using this codec with this pixel format, doubling the FPS because it's going to double it to 60 FPS and then very quickly drop it down to 30 FPS. Just a weird bug sort of thing I had to overcome. And then there's the bit rate, the preset, which is the quality and quality variable. And then this extra bit down here, async, and then you can also add vsync if your audio is still out of sync. Do vsync 1, and then here with a stream key and everything. And I just now realized I shared my stream key. So I did not realize this entire time that I was sharing my stream key. So give me 1 second. I'm going to have to go into my settings here, change it and everything, and redo the stream. Wow, what a dipshit.